Ian, give us your reaction. I mean, you were telling us this a little bit. You were talking a little bit about your analysis just a few minutes ago, but just to give your sense of the scale of this issue, I can't keep up with the number of reports I'm getting in from airports around the world, from airlines, from companies who are saying they're experiencing some problems. What do you make of the scale of it?
Yes, Anna. I said before the top of the hour to you, I think it is not exaggerating to say that this is the biggest IT outage the world has ever seen. This is on a scale that we have not yet experienced. We've had IT outages in various isolated measures in the past, but as Tom was just saying, it really highlights not only the interdependence of the global IT infrastructure we have, but also the fact that only a handful of big tech companies really dominates this scene. And to recap, the reason we think this has happened is because of a software upgrade to a piece of software called Falcon Sensor, which is made by a company called Crowdstrike. It's a US listed business worth some $83 billion. It came to fame when it identified the hacking threat from the Russian-backed Fancy Bear and Cozy Bear organisations, which, if you remember at the time, had infiltrated the Democrat National Committee in the United States. So it goes back to that story about Russia interfering with the US elections process. CrowdStrike identified that threat and nullified it, and on the back of that, they floated on the Nasdaq. They were valued at $11 billion at the time. That was back in 2011. They're now, as I say, valued at $83 billion, and they are a very, very big player indeed in the world of cybersecurity. The Falcon Sensor claims to be able to use artificial intelligence to identify incoming threats to the service IT systems of its clients, and it has a 24% share in that market known as endpoint protection, competing with the likes of McAfee, another well-known name, but CrowdStrike are a substantially bigger player than that, and very, very closely and intimately linked, of course, with Microsoft, a key business partner with whom it has collaborated in the past, most recently on a product called Defender. And the fact that Microsoft is such a dominant player is why this has become such a widespread thing. I suspect when the dust has settled from all of this, Anna, you will see calls from regulators around the world and indeed from politicians around the world saying, how do we stop this happening again? Are the big software companies, the big tech companies, just too dominant in the field? Have they got too much power? Have they got too much control? Because this has clearly tested the resilience of global IT infrastructure quite considerably. Just to let you know about another update that I've seen, very, very important one, this, when you're talking about resilience and resilience for the overall economy in this country. National Grid's electricity systems operator, which obviously balances supplies of electricity around the grid, it's put out a statement saying it's been unaffected by this. So that is good news. And the statement reads, we are aware of the global issue impacting Microsoft. There has been no impact to electricity system operator IT systems as a result of the global Microsoft outage. Our ability to operate the electricity system and supply electricity remains unaffected. Our engineers have been and continue to monitor the situation closely. So a piece of good news there. I mean, it seems, Anna, from the various updates that we're getting around the world, there are a couple of key areas that seem to be affected most severely. Aviation is obviously a key one. The main US aviation regulator, the FAA, has said it's had requests from 3 of the main carriers over there, United, Delta and American, to ground all flights right now. We know that, for example, Berlin Airport has prevented airports from takeoff and landing. The latest update I've had is from KLM, the Dutch flag carrier, obviously now part of Air France KLM, one of the big pan-European airlines, and they have been grounding flights as well. It appears at a very localised level, Anna, to be affecting ticketing and check-in procedures. Obviously, that is a very IT-intensive area. Turkish Airlines is another carrier that has said that it's having issues getting some of its customers to check in. And that's accordingly why anyone who is due to fly today is being urged to contact the airlines before travelling. I suspect you could see a situation where a lot of airports around the world look pretty chaotic in fairly short order. One observation I would make, Anna, you were talking earlier on about the financial services infrastructure, and I've been talking throughout the morning here about some of the problems, for example, that we've had at the London Stock Exchange, and in particular their ability to get regulatory announcements out to the market in a timely manner. Although trade has resumed trading is carrying on as normal. Shares are changing hands right now. But to the point about financial transactions, I would say this could have been even worse had it happened at the end of the month, because obviously towards the final few days of the month, big employers start to run their monthly payrolls, very, very automated system, very, very heavily dependent on IT systems. And one could say that were this to have happened this time next week, for example, that could have caused absolute chaos in terms of getting workers' salaries out to them in a timely manner, and that would have obviously all sorts of knock-on effects. One other observation I would make, Anna, is that bear in mind what I've been saying about Crowdstrike. This software is all about preventing attacks on IT systems. And I wonder whether a knock-on effect from this will be bad actors around the world now, whether state entities or individual private malicious individuals trying to potentially extort money from businesses by hacking into their systems. Well, if this software is currently out of action or to combat, then potentially that is a green light for bad actors to come in and start trying to attack the IT systems of companies and government entities around the world. So potentially that would be a bit of a knock on there. I would not be surprised to see over the next 24 hours if we start getting updates from, as I say, both state entities and from individual corporations saying, well, we've had a hacking incident as a result of our main software going down. I think that could be a secondary impact, if you like, of what we're seeing just now.